Hi folks, I hope you're well. So, I've just done the one talking about the fact that war has always been against men. Yes. But this one's talking about something slightly different, but still in the same vein. Extreme feminism. Yes, indeed. So, recently we had that point about believable women. So, okay, believable women came from the point that in the past, a lot of women were not believed when they went to the police, and rightly or wrongly, some rightly, some wrongly, let's say most rightly, where most had actually accused a man of raping her. Okay? Because the way the police have always had to deal with that, up until very, very recently, is proof. There always had to be the burden of proof. And the problem is, from a lot of these cases, there was often, if we're talking about a situation where, a woman claims that she was getting a bit frisky with the bloke, but then he started going a bit further and she said no, but he kept on going, even though she said no, right? But the problem is, again, the police have to look at it from the point of view that the man says you never said no. You say you said no, the man says you never said no. You've been checked and there's no issues there. There's no evidence that you were forced. We looked in his apartment. There's no evidence that you fought. We've been asked you, did you fight against him? Did you try and stop him? Did you kick him in the balls and try to get out? Did you scratch him? Did you punch him? Did you bite him? And you said no to all of that. Okay, the police have said, well, we can't really prosecute this person based upon that. And, unfortunately speaking, there have been situations where women have said no, meant no, felt they couldn't fight, and yet the police didn't prosecute. But as I say, they can't really, because without proof they can't. If it's simply a he said, she said, then the court was right, or the police were right to say we can't push this. Because any decent lawyer is going to get this person off. And it's not really something we should be doing. I get that. I can't really say the police are wrong. I can say, should they have investigated a bit more on some cases? Yeah. Of course. There were times when women should have been believed that weren't. Absolutely. But as I say, what society basically did, when they said believable women, they were saying no proof needed. That it doesn't matter if an innocent man goes to prison for rape. It doesn't matter because in the past there were men who weren't innocent that didn't go to prison. So therefore it's okay if one or two now who are innocent go to prison. As long as most of them are guilty, that doesn't matter. Yeah. But again, think about it in a sense. If you think that's true, if you think it doesn't matter that innocent men have gone to prison for rape when they didn't actually do anything, then okay. Okay. Would you agree, therefore, that your family members should go to hell even if they've qualified for heaven? If not, why not? Why don't you agree that that's... Because I think that's fair. I think that God should say, okay, he wants you to go to hell, and he wants your family, even though they've not judged, but you have, he wants them to go to hell, even if it's only for 5 minutes, enough for you to see them there, and enough to know, for you to know that they're there because of you. Because if you don't give a shit whatsoever that men are going through hell because women are lying, because you think it makes it okay because in the past women weren't believed, yeah, then, yeah, F you and F all those that are with you and support your way of thinking. And if that's your family, then may they go to hell with you. May you all go to hell. No, as I say, it's not okay. And it's not okay. We've had all this thing about putting down the statues and all this sort of crap. Utter, total stupidity. We've had stupid thinking. We've had society led by stupid. This belief of women is absolutely stupid. It's like you've had these things, certainly in the UK, probably other countries as well, where you've had positive sexism and positive racism. You have positive racism because you see in all the movies. You have positive sexism because you see, they had the female Ghostbusters. All female cast in Ghostbusters. I mean, it's nearly all. I think the person who was teaching them was a male, but and it was a terrible bloody film because they weren't thinking about who are the best people for this. They were thinking about let's make sure it's a women cast. They've had terrible films made because they focused on the director being brown skinned because he was brown skinned, or having a vagina because they've got a vagina. As if being brown skinned or having a vagina is going to make you a good director or producer of a movie. Of course it bloody isn't. They completely feminized Disney. So you have films like Snow White, and the new version of Snow White, they made it into a feminist version of Snow White. And it's tanked. We've been run by stupid. And those men who are in prison, hopefully, look, come on. For me, the women, if it's proved that a woman has claimed that a man did something that he didn't do, she should be in prison. I got annoyed with Johnny Depp that he didn't actually enforce that payment on Amber Heard, that he didn't make her pay it. He should have. Because, okay, that's his ex, but that's his ex who destroyed his movie career in order to elevate herself by accusing him of raping her and, of physically abusing her when she was the one who was abusive. Right? Again, whether they were both abusive or whether she was the one or she was more than him, whatever. She was ordered by the court to pay him damages. And he let her off that. He shouldn't. Because only when there's going to be consequences, as I say, this believable women is stupid. And the women that take advantage of this and abuse it, if they're held accountable, then women who are lying are more likely to not. As I say, if there is a case that can be proven, as I say, you've had recently in all those cases of the ex DJs and things like that, British, that is, that a lot of them have ended up going to prison because women have come out and said that they did this, that and the other. Yeah. Whether they did, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But if they did, then okay. It's right that what's happened has happened. If they did do that, yes. Even if it happened a long time ago, it's right. Because, that should have been sorted out a long time ago, but it wasn't. But okay, it's been sorted out, so you can't say the law's wrong on that because, even though it happened a long time ago. But it has to go the other way as well. If it can be proved that a woman lied and got a man put in prison for something he didn't do, if it can be proved that the parents of the children or the children involved who accused Michael Jackson of doing things, if it can be proved that they were lying, they should face prison. They should. They should face prison. If they make false accusations, then they should face prison. Yeah. Well, you have to have a situation where the law is fighting for truth. The law is fighting for what is right. It can't be what is right based upon gender. It has to be what is right. When it starts doing that, that's when we start not being led by stupid. Because right now we've been led by stupid for a number of years. And we need to stop and deal with that. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Be a blessing, be blessed, and have a fantastic week ahead. Enjoy. Take care of yourself and don't be led by stupid. Bye bye.